Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we are going to be talking about Demon Slayer Season 4, Episode 7. And apparently, there's only 8 episodes this season. So I was under the impression that there was 11, like a normal core. But no, there is 8 episodes. So next week is the last episode of the season. In addition to that, apparently there's not going to technically be a season 5. It is going to be split into 3 separate movies. At least that is to my understanding. Either that or there's going to be 3 movies and then a 5th season. Or the 3 movies are going to become part of the 6th season, or 5th season, rather. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do it. But in terms of a time frame, that's what's going to happen. So episode 8, we're done. And then 3 movies, and then that might be it. I'm not sure how that's going to work. They might try to drag it out. Hopefully not as bad as they did with Attack on Titan. But we're just going to have to wait and see. But probably after next week, it's probably going to be another 6 months before you even hear anything regarding Demon Slayer. So we'll just have to wait around and see. So we start off here with Tanjiro moving the boulder and Zenitsu Sparrow with some sort of note. Tanjiro is pushing the boulder. Inosuke is finally able to move the boulder. Zenitsu is sad that he's not able to move the boulder. Zenitsu also gets some sort of note. Tanjiro is finally able to push the boulder all the way, and as you can see from his facial expressions, he is just shot. He is actually very dehydrated. He forgot to drink water this morning. So Himejima here, the Stone Hashira, comes in, gives him some water. He is good to go. He says, I acknowledge you. Everything is good to go. And then, you saved those villagers in the Swordsmith village versus your own sister. And then Tanjiro immediately tells the truth, because that's just how he is. He was like, well, I didn't really have a choice in the matter. Nezuko kind of kicked me, as she did, and that is the reason why. I couldn't, I couldn't concentrate and choose the villagers or my sister. Nezuko chose for me. And he was like, well, that's exactly why he's like, I still acknowledge you. We then get his backstory. So he was just a blind young man. We don't really know about his childhood, but he was helping orphans, essentially. So there's a group of orphans. I'm not sure how many here we have. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So there's 10 of them altogether, including Himejima. And, they use food. He was like, oh, you don't have to worry about me, the youngest. Was like, here, take my food, you look so thin. And he was like, oh, you don't have to worry about me, thank you, though. He was like, I have a strict regimen of training, hunger is really no problem. And, he mentioned that children lie a lot. He's referring to Tanjiro as a child, being that I think his age is like 27 or 28. He's upper 20s, if I remember looking at the character directory, where I think Tanjiro at this time is either 14 or 15, somewhere around there. Same with Zenitsu and Inosuke, they're right around that age. So everybody's laughing, having a good time, they're all eating. However, one of the orphans, this guy right here, did not, we don't get a name, but did not follow the rules. So the rules were, by dark, everybody come in, and they knew about demon lore and demon history. At this point, I don't think any of them have actually seen a demon, but he ran into a demon, and in order to spare his own life, he said, hey, I'll take you to the orphan temple here, or orphan housing, eat all of them, spare me. So just like instead of sacrificing himself for the greater good because he messed up, he is just digging himself into a hole even deeper. And there's incense they burn, a type of incense to keep the demons away. He put them out as well and just let them right in there. He said immediately, 4 of the children were killed. Only one of them, the youngest, which she was about 4 years old at the time, listened to him and got behind him. There were 3 that got behind him initially, but then they ran out trying to escape the demon. Demon killed them too. Looks like it's just a no-name demon. It doesn't look like, it's anything fancy. I could be wrong, but based on the way they're describing it, he also ends up killing the demon too. So after that, he fights the demon, rips up his arms, and he was like, if this demon never showed up, I would have never known what it felt like to hit, another living being. He said it was terrible. Like he hated it. He hated having to attack and kill this thing. And demons regenerate, and just kept regenerating over and over again. This is where he got the scar on his head too, and he essentially beat the crap out of the demon over and over and over, smashing its head in time after time after time until the sun came up and disappeared in dust like we've seen in the past. The 4-year-old, not fully understanding what happened, being in shock that, all of her family, or adopted family, I should say, because they basically were a big adopted family, died. She said that he was a monster and that has nothing to do with him. He was the one that did everything. Not, as I said, her not fully understanding what happened. He gets arrested, and they are going to kill him. Essentially, they're going to kill him. But luckily for us, the head of the mansion there, the family came down, explained the situation, and he was released. So now he is very devoted to them and their cause, and that is why he became a demon slayer. Being that Tanjiro spoke, with no hesitation, with truth, it's kind of nice. He feels like he can finally feel like the younger sibling, or like the child getting appreciation from their parent, because he was the oldest in his family. And I could see head pats are always nice. You can see just the stature. I mean, look at the size of him. Tanjiro is like half the size of this guy. I'm assuming Himejima himself, I don't know exactly what his height is, but he's huge. But just comparing him to Tanjiro, it's like an elephant and a mouse, if you will. So that's pretty much all we get. End of training there. Inosuke's like, yeah, I moved the boulder too. Genya's like, yeah, so did I. He was like, he won't take me as his successor because he doesn't have a breathing technique. So Genya is now training under the Stone Hashira. Says he's not training him as his successor. There's a word for it that I can't remember, but he's training him essentially as an apprentice type of deal. Being that he can't do a breathing technique. Him and Inosuke get in a big old fight, because Inosuke says, haha, what a loser. You can't do breathing techniques. So obviously that would bring up a fight. That makes perfect sense to bring up a fight. We then see Zenitsu sitting on top of the boulder. Tanjiro asks, hey, have you been able to move it yet? And he was like, no, I haven't, but not in the usual Zenitsu voice. He's like, he's worried about him. He's like, yes, thank you, everything's fine. Just go do what you gotta do. You're a good person. And Tanjiro just kind of leaves him his fish, his meal, and goes away. You see him gripping the note. We don't know what the note is, but something bad, I'm guessing. Tanjiro here also thinking about Nezuko. Like, oh my god, it's so sad. This is the first time I think we pretty much saw her the entire session. Meanwhile, we have Giyu versus, is it Tsunami? I believe Tsunami, the Wind Hashira, fighting each other. That's part of their training, is they're sparring with each other. They broke the wooden swords, had an even match. And then Tanjiro mentions this food that I think you dip in green tea, Ayuma, if I'm saying that right. It's like Oujahi. Ayumi, maybe. And he's like, oh, I can make you as much as you want. And this just got him really angry. He ended up punching him in the face, knocking him out. So yeah, there is more training technically, because we're on to Giyu's training. I guess, we got 2 Hashira left. We got Giyu and Water Hashira, Insect Hashira. And, oh, guess what? 7 episodes deep from the second episode, and we still did not get the backstory of what happened to the Insect Hashira's master. So maybe we'll get it next episode, but don't count on it. There was like a big setup for that, and then we just haven't. It's like they forgot about it. I don't know if they're just waiting for the last episode. Maybe it sets up the next movie or something. But holy crap, have we not heard anything about that? I figured there would have been something by now, but nope. 5 episodes later, about to be 6 episodes later, and we have not heard anything about that. But yeah, so he gets angry. He's looking for other Hashira to train. He ends up smashing one of these upper rank 4 eyeballs and he's like, oh crap, we've been infiltrated. So he runs, obviously, to go tell, I'm assuming, the head of the mansion and his wife. And then we end the episode with Muzan here walking in. They have found the mansion. They are infiltrating the mansion. Obviously, he wants Nezuko. Obviously, he's going to have it at night because demons. We then actually get a little bit more of an outro where it's basically you just see him coming through the fog and hear his footsteps. Very ominous, very villainous. You know, you got the head boss coming in hot. So he just keeps walking and walking. I don't know if they're showing like his stench or just the mist, him coming out of the mist. And he was like, oh, we've never met before. It's finally nice to meet you. He says, oh, you look like crap. And that's pretty much where we end. You know, I mean, he's knocking on death's door anyway. So in this case, even if Muzan ends up killing him, it's kind of like, okay, who cares? Well, not obviously, not 100% who cares, because I know it's going to be sad for all the Hashira and all the Demon Slayer corps. The head just got killed. But at the same time, when he is like days away from whatever the sickness is he has completely killing him, there's really nothing you can do about it. We then have the secret here, which is basically him liking that food. Let's just put on the captions here for a second. Let's see what he says here. Let's see what Tanjiro tells us about the Tasho period secret. Food is ohagi. I'm sorry, I was saying it wrong. Ohagi. And he's like, oh, you again. Next up on the last episode, Hashira's assemble. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be that he told the head of the mansion and everybody that, hey, we've been infiltrated, something bad's about to happen, and they're just waiting in the shadows until he has this conversation with the head of the mansion to come out and fight them. I'm guessing, you know, that's going to be kind of where it ends, and then probably the 3 or 4, I think there's 4 technically because we got a replacement for rank upper 4, are probably all going to pop up, and there's going to be some epic battle where it's going to end, because then we're going to go into the movie, something along those lines. So overall rating, this one, I think I'm going to give it a higher rating. I really liked this episode. I liked the backstory. I liked how it ended with Muzan showing up. So this one can get an 8 out of 10. You know, I think this has probably been the best episode. I would say the best episode so far of this season. I know the whole season itself is kind of lackluster. I'm actually kind of thankful we're only getting 8 episodes and not 11, because I was like, great, how the heck are they going to drag out this training for another 3 episodes? But no, they're not going to. It's 1 episode and then 3 movies. So I think that's where we're just going to end it. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, like, share, all that fun stuff. If I get any more details on the movies or release dates, I will make sure to include that next week in the final Season 4, Episode 8 review. My Hero Academia is still going on for a long time, so we're going to keep doing those, and maybe I'll try to pick up another show or throw some memes in there somewhere. We'll see what happens. But thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.